I really feel that the Lord has the church very much in a season of what I would call accelerated preparation. And it's a bit like when a wedding is approaching and a bride suddenly realizes, wow, there isn't much time left and there's a lot to get ready. And he will have a bride that he spoke about, which is a bride that's full grown, beautiful, glorious, without spot, without wrinkle, in unity. All of that is going to take a lot of acceleration. So I believe at the same time, he will use the shakings and things that he's doing in the world. This is very much a time in these next even few years of increased shakings. He's shown me very clearly in visions that those would be a time of threshing and preparation. Like in the Middle East, we have those baskets you lift up in the air and then the wind blows away the chaff. And but he showed me he would be in total control of those shakings, and that he would, in the middle of the shaking, it might seem like things were out of control, but that really he was in it. He was in control. He's using those things to prepare the world for what he wants to do in the world, but he's also using the shakings at the same time to prepare his people. And so through pressures that will come in those times of shakings, it will help a lot of the chaff to get exposed, to get blown away. And it will be a time very much of refining, of purifying. Sometimes I believe to many people there will be seasons they will go through that may seem like, well, Lord, things that seem to work in the past don't seem to be working right now. And it's because he's getting in a place of much deeper dependence upon him. And so he will work very much in our hearts to bring us into that place where we can walk in that kind of oneness that only comes out of a true brokenness and humility and dependence upon him. I believe in terms of 10 years, I believe those shakings will be like birth pangs. They will get stronger and they will feel more severe, but in between there will be breathing moments. And so I believe we need to recognize in the midst of the shaking, this is not going to last forever, but also in the midst of the shaking to realize there will be those breathing times. But through all of that, another part of what he will be developing is bringing us into a place where he can trust us with, I believe, a greater outpouring of signs and wonders and miracles than the world has ever seen. And the world will be very much in need of that. And he will prepare us so that we can walk in those things in humility and not promoting ourselves through using him to promote ourselves and our kingdom, but to lay down our kingdoms and ourselves and to promote his kingdom through what he will do in signs and wonders and miracles. I also believe that the church will have, in many, many nations and cities, a place of a strong voice into areas of society like media and government and this, where God is preparing people right now who will not just climb up the mountain and kind of, the way they do in the world, they kind of push each other out of the way to get up the mountain of media or politics or whatever their business, whatever they're in. But I believe he's raising up a new generation, a lot through the House of Prayer movement, that is beginning to realize the value and the priority of spending time waiting on God in worship and prayer, and making that a scheduled part of our lives and much more of a priority. And then I believe in those places of prayer and worship, new things will be born. And he said that which is born of God overcomes the world. And so you'll suddenly find people who've been prepared by the Lord, and they're like parachuting down out of the heavenly places onto the top of the media mountain or the top of the government mountain, and having a voice, being a prophetic voice to presidents and prime ministers and leaders who are looking for real answers and are suddenly going to realize that the answers that work are being found in the body of Christ. So God is going to raise up many like Daniels and like Josephs that will have great wisdom of God to solve problems that in these times of shaking are so huge that governments just don't know what to do. And God will promote and open doors for people from the body of Christ to be a prophetic voice into these areas of crisis. At the same time, that there will be a reaction to that, and there'll probably be more severe persecution in most countries as well. So it's a very strange kind of paradoxical thing that will have more voice, more influence, and it will probably have more persecution at certain moments as well. But we will definitely not be a little ghetto that's off by ourselves and makes no difference really upon the city or the nation. We will have huge influence upon cities and nations.